So after 9 days and 2,400 miles driven through California highways and potholes and dirt roads, the question is, did Tesla Model 3 prove to be a reliable road trip car just like any other similar gas car? My verdict is in, and I will have all pros, cons, nuances, tips for you. By the end of this video, you're going to have a pretty good idea what does it feel like to have a Tesla as your road trip car. So let's do it. So the plan was to drive from San Diego to Temecula to Death Valley, where we were greeted by interesting gas prices and a crazy sandstorm. But that didn't stop us. We still explored the incredible Death Valley. Then we took the historic Highway 395 north and stopped to see the stunning Mono Lake and visited Bodie Ghost Town. Then we headed all the way north to Lassen Volcanic National Park and the incredible Burney Falls. Finally, we were off to the magical northwestern coastal towns. We did the entire Lost Coast Drive, an undeveloped, narrow and windy road with some epic views. Stopped at Glass Beach and enchanting Mendocino, Bowling Ball Beach, Healdsburg, and then finally home. So all 2,400 miles of that road trip were absolutely incredible. I have video for every single day of 9 days, and I'm going to link it for you in the description. I hope you watch it because it's going to give you some awesome ideas for road trips in California for the future. And yeah, let me get back on track. So just like before any major road trip, we just needed to make sure we do tune-up and the oil change. So sorry, my jokes are sometimes better in my head, but no tune-up needed, no oil change needed, actually ever. And we get the absolutely empty front trunk as an extra space, but we definitely wanted to make sure that we check all of our tires because I wanted to make sure that it withstands the Death Valley heat and it withstands all the potholes and dirt roads, but that would probably go for any car. One major concern I had was that if charging a car would be a problem, if I would have to accommodate or it would take too much time. You know, when I'm at home, that's never an issue because we have our routine. We're charging overnight at home and that's that. But when I'm on the road trip, I want to make sure I don't have to accommodate car's functions. So our car capacity at this point is about 230 miles, and I don't worry about going from point A to point B no matter how far it is because there's tons of superchargers available. Basically, car calculates for you, you set up where you're going, and as you see, there's tons of superchargers available throughout the entire state, and car tells you how long will it take for you to charge. Sometimes it actually can be 10 minutes or less, and sometimes it can be up to 40 minutes. So basically, if you want to go, I know that there's a supercharger in Susanville. So I'm just going to use Susanville as my final destination. That's where we're going to be tomorrow night. It's already calculated that I need to stop in Gardnerville, Nevada, to get to Susanville. However, what I can do is I can add my stops because we're gonna go to Bodie. It's on the way, but then there's a detour that we need to take. So if I do Bodie and add Bodie as going before Susanville, then it already calculates. Oh, so far we're good. And then if I add Mono Lake, add a stop. There's Mono Lake that we're actually going next. So then it's finding all the superchargers. It decided that we have enough charging to go to Mono Lake, Bodie, and then we stop here to charge, and then we're gonna get to Susanville, wherever we are gonna have another supercharger. But for unstructured road trip like ours, is just not good enough, because I want to make sure that if I decide that, oh, I want to go see this and see that, no matter how remote it is, I want to make sure I have that option. And for that, I was very concerned, especially about Death Valley. But for that, there's a whole huge other network. In addition to superchargers, there's the non-Tesla chargers available, and there's a way to find them. You basically have to, if you go on Google Map, it's just going to tell you where they are located. And that's definitely a great additional chargers for those special, unusual remote trips for you. So yesterday we were running pretty low on our charger and we were freaking out if we're going to be able to, if there's going to be any stalls available for charging, because there's only 4. I guess there's still not enough electric cars because 4 stalls were open. So we charged all night. Now we're fully charged, so we can go through entire park, do anything we want to do, and we have enough to get to the next destination's charger. So technically it's possible as long as those stalls are available, but I guess they're not building more of them because it's still not needed. So now we're gonna, oh, what is free?
They're free.
The chargers are free.
Yeah.
Damn, we didn't have to pay for it. We did full charge and we didn't have to pay. Well, I guess it's time to start talking about prices. The cheapest way to charge, of course, is at home, especially if you have solar. And prices of superchargers depend on time and location. During the road trip, we could not really be choosers, just like gas stations, but the prices were definitely uncomparable. We got $8.28 for a quarter of a tank. It's not the cheapest time of the day or cheapest location. So we calculated. We drove about 2,400 miles and we paid $247 to charge the car. And I would imagine for gas, especially in today's prices, we would save probably at least $400 or $500 here in California. And it's very helpful that some hotels are allowing you to charge. You can charge overnight and it gives you full tank for free. And also when you're driving downhill, you get a good chunk of extra miles too, so that's also helpful. An unexpected issue we encountered was cold weather. Funny, I was worried about Death Valley, but car loved the heat. I just didn't expect a cold weather in California in summer, but when we got to Bridgeport at night, it was 30 degrees, so the car lost a few miles overnight, but we had plenty of miles then, so it was not an issue for us, but it's something for sure to keep in mind. Let me address an elephant in the room. How long did it take to charge? For me, it was very important not to get stuck in charging stations when I want to be somewhere else, especially this was a technically working trip for us. We were recording the entire trip and I wanted to make sure I am in particular location at particular times so I have enough time to record and move somewhere else. So for me, it was important not to be stuck in charging station. So we created a chart of every single time we charged, where was it, how long did it take, and also how much it cost. So definitely check it out. It didn't interfere with our plans because it was nice to be able to get out of the car. The whole point of road trip is being on the road, not to rush. It's just fascinating. So it was surprisingly fine. Maybe it makes it feel like that we're charging a lot, but it's just the same as when we're putting gas. The only thing is that you need to kind of calculate to make sure, because there's not as many electric stations like gas stations. But at the same time, when we charge, it takes a little bit longer. And before I say that, when we were driving in Death Valley, there's only one charging station, and it was just such a vast space, so many miles from one place to another place. So I'm glad we're out safely, That charger inside the hotel was a lifesaver. Without it, there's no way. But it was there, so obviously it's all very well calculated, and it was free. So now we're in Lone Pines. It's going to be about 20-minute charge, and I understand that it's not 5-minute gas, it's 20-minute wait. But at the same time, it gives us opportunity to kind of get out and stretch legs, and there's nowhere to rush. It's such a, our modern way of thinking and living. We're rushing everywhere. Well, 49ers rushed in Death Valley. What did they get in the end? Never mind. But you know what I mean. It really doesn't bother me. It's a state of mind. You go, you set up, you know when you're going to charge, and every single supercharger is located near a coffee shop or shopping center or small town center. One of our stops took us to casino in Reno. That was unexpected and fun. Another great car charging destination, Atlantis. We're in Reno, Nevada. It was obviously on the way, so we just stopped here to charge some more, had some coffee, walked around. And of course, there's a whole entertainment system on Tesla. You can watch Netflix, Hulu, Disney, YouTube, you name it, whatever you want to do. And honestly, it was a road trip, so we didn't care about it because we already had so much to take in. But otherwise, it's definitely an option. When I look back, was there anything I could have done differently? And yes, I should have stopped worrying. I was worried we're not going to have charger. I was worried, I was doubting the car's functions. I was worried that we're going to be inconvenienced. But the main inconvenience was really me worrying about being inconvenienced. The car ended up doing everything it needed to do, and the car functions are very smart and very well thought through. It drove us through the rugged Lost Coast Drive. It was beautiful, but full of potholes and uphill dirt roads. Car handled it no problem. And very importantly, it really would not exhale gas onto this precious nature.
Oh my God, they're all everywhere.
Like the car before us. So the next question is it too much, planning or thinking involved regarding charging? Interestingly, it may sound like yes, but it's really not. You know how when we drive and we need to put gas, we just start looking on the road, the gas stations, and I'm sure one day it's going to be just like that for charging. Every gas station is probably going to have a charging station in it. However, for now, you just have to let the car, your electronics, to make a decision for you. You plug in the information, and it just calculates where to go, and you don't even have to think about it. You just let your electronics to serve you. And it's actually very interesting that with every day, as every day was passing, we found ourselves thinking less and less and less about charging until we barely thinking about it at all. So basically letting your car do the thinking for you. I understand that skeptics would say, blah, 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 you're just trying to convince yourself that it's okay. And honestly, I really thought about it because I want to be fair. But no matter how I thought about it, it comes down to your state of mind to allow your electronics to serve you. It's basically about trusting your electronics. We don't think about car as our electronics like computer or phone, but the reality electric car is technically is. And again, in the end, I really was not thinking about charging, and I had my peace of mind. So, did the Tesla Model 3 prove to be a reliable road trip car? Yes. We didn't run out of charge. We didn't restrict ourselves. We went anywhere we wanted to go. It was definitely much cheaper, and on top of everything, very importantly, it's definitely better for environment. So there, Whew, I said it. And now, Tesla skeptics, please throw questions at me, not rotten tomatoes. To be honest, well, this is definitely not a sponsored video, and I really thought about it, and that's the conclusion I came to after this 9-day trip that we had. And if you have any questions, any tips, pros, cons, anything you want to say or just comment, definitely I would love to hear from you. All the links, the chart of all the stops is in the description, and definitely links to the videos in the description. The trip was just so fun and so adventurous. It was wonderful. And yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope it was helpful, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.